Hey everyone, General Chemistry, just saying hi. My midweek check-in with you. Nothing too new here. If you want to go back and compare to Monday's message, but I might get into a little bit of detail. I guess is really what it comes down to. So a little bit more detail because I have a couple of documents up here for you. Okay, so I'm gonna go over what's happened this week. Then I have another little something to say about some previous week stuff. So hang tight with that. All right. Now, as far as things go here, this particular document, the web quality, water quality web quest, I'd say technically was due today. That's the due date I threw onto it. Okay. Um, and I know only a few of you have got that in at this point. But if you were to look at this, of course, you got this is a live document you can type right into. Please use a different color than what I've used. That way your answers stand out pretty well. You got just a few questions. This is to prep you for the fish kill project. I think it'll come in handy knowing these things. You'll have a much better understanding of what you are seeing, what you're experiencing, and I think it'll work out great. Whenever you cite uh, your sources for any of these questions, you just write them down in the citation spot here, okay? But remember that you are looking for real websites, okay? If you use the links up here, just copy and paste those right into your document as far as the real websites, all right? That'd be great. Excuse me. Remember Google, Ecosia, Firefox, those are just web browsers. They are not, or in some cases, search engines, I guess I could say as well, depending on how you look at it. But they are not the same as a website. So keep that in mind, please. All right. So, anyway, we got that. Then by the end of the week, I'm hoping that you have part one of the fish kill all taken care of. Now, this is paging very slowly here. I've only had two of my videos spontaneously combust and die on me. So hopefully it doesn't happen this time. But either way, you got some directions up here. Make sure you read all directions. Anything in blue, pay attention to what those are. Those are your instructions. The yellow highlighting means you have to answer some stuff for sure. Um, but anyway, read about the history of what's going on here. I think that's an important thing. You can highlight anywhere, by the way. Okay. You can write answers where it asks you to write answers, but if you want to highlight information, I highly recommend doing that. I think it's a great thing because then you can go back to this information at some point, which I think will definitely help you in part three and really the summative portion of this, which is that's really where the money is. Okay. Now, granted, you're going to have to go through the formative to understand what's going on in the summative. It's easy for us to see what's going on, whether you really understand this or whether you don't. Okay. And there are right and wrong answers to this. So I know what we're looking for here. So just be aware of that as you go through this. There can be multiple right answers to a degree, but there's probably a best. And there are definitely multiple wrong answers if you look at that from that standpoint. So if you do your work, you won't have any trouble. I know that. Anyway, what you're going to do here is you're going to go through some scenarios and try and figure out, well, how would you summarize the four possible scenarios which could cause a fish kill? These are possible scenarios that cause the fish to die. It does not say who is responsible for that. It does not say, who's at fault or any of that stuff. It's just saying these are situations that could cause a gigantic fish kill. Know about them. That's really all. Okay. Summarize that right here, and you should be in great shape. Again, you're looking at whatever short paragraph. I'm sure that would be plenty. Just a good summary there. All right. So I'll let you get into that. One thing here, it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere, are these maximum contamination levels for Riverwood drinking water? What's allowed? These are different elements that can be found in the water, or in some case, ions like nitrates and phosphates. And the unit here is something called micrograms per liter. A microgram is a millionth of a gram. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but some of these things get pretty poisonous. So anyway, just giving you that information there. It's a microgram per liter. So microgram, millionth of a gram. Paperclip is basically the size of a gram. So cut that into a million pieces. And a liter is about 3 cans of pop. Good enough? Regular standard size cans of pop. Okay, or two of your monsters. How about that? Anyway, there you go. So you got that down here. You got the different stakeholders in the community. You are to highlight the basically what they do, what they are responsible for. Okay, and that's all given to you right there in blue. Okay, so definitely read that well, highlight it with whatever color you want that gets the job done. Turn that in, turn the whole document in. It'll also save in your drive, and so you will have access to that some other time. Then start next week, Tuesday, really, because you got Monday, Memorial Day, so you got kind of a shortened week next week. So, I think you'll be all right, though. You can get this whole next section here done in, I'll say probably a couple of sessions, hour or so, maybe a little longer. Depends. I mean, I'll show you what's going on so you can kind of make your own judgment on the timing. But here we go. It says you're going to look at the analyzed data right here, blue, right? Look at the graphs and don't forget to read the rest of it. Look at the graphs provided by clicking on the group name. Answer the questions while looking at each group's data. So you got 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, number of questions, right? 1, 2, all of them, okay? And so what you probably want to do is write down those questions before you start. Give yourself lots of room to give answers. Unless you have 2 computer screens, then you can look up stuff on one and you can write on the other, right? Okay, that's a luxury for a few of you, I'm sure. That's great, but for the rest of us, you're probably going to need to just write the questions down to answer them. And here's why: you're going to get into this, and let's say you click on scientists, and you got to do all of these. You can't just choose one. You analyze all of them. All right, all of them. All right. So anyway, you got to get that taken care of. And here we go. Okay. Clicking on their graph, science graph. Okay. And so I would look at my first question that's pulling up here. Okay. But I would look at the first question and maybe, oh no, I went to the wrong one. Here we go. Sorry about that. Looking at the first graph, what happened to the temperature of the water over the first week in September? So I would look at the first graph and go, okay, well, what happened to the water temperature during the first week of September? Well, September 1st through September 7th right here, right? Looking at that. I got my temperature in Celsius degrees. All your temperatures are going to be in Celsius degrees. 20 degrees Celsius is approximately 68 degrees Fahrenheit, just to give you some reference there, okay? I think I'm pretty right on that. But either way, there you go. So this is just a bar graph. What happened to your water temperature? Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that it remained unchanged, right? So you might want to answer the water temperature remained stable, or the water temperature remained unchanged at approximately 11 degrees Celsius, or whatever you might call that, right? So a couple different ways you can answer it, but make sure you're just answering in complete sentences. You're going to do that for all of these questions. So you just go on to one of the headings there, and it's going to have graphs for the power company will pop up or whatever, right? So you got a bunch of different things that you got there, and you should be good. Again, right in that document. You're good to go. Once you know that, boom, turn it into me. That should be due by next Friday. Look into the last week of school, okay? Part 3 here. I'm not going to talk much about that right now. I'll talk more about that maybe the beginning of next week. Probably beginning of next week, I'll talk a little bit more about that, and we should be good. Okay, just to kind of let you know what you can expect going forward. But the big part of part 3, in a nutshell, is you are analyzing your data. You are trying to figure out which group is responsible for polluting the water and what that pollution exactly was that caused the fish kill. And you'll be putting together a slideshow, which we have templates for you, or you can be putting together a screencastify, something like what I'm doing right now, where you will just narrate your slideshow. You can make a video like what I'm making, except make it full size screen and whatnot, probably. Either way, a number of different ways of going through that. We'll get to that when we get to it. If you have any questions on that, see me at Google Meets. I'd love to hear from you. And that's really all I got for that. Now, for those of you who still have not taken either of the first 2 tests here, chemical reactions A-B or chemical reactions C-D. Well, that's actually A through D if I think about it right. Okay. The ball's in your court. You gotta contact me. You gotta make a plan. We gotta get this thing going. Okay. A few of you have reached out to me wondering what you can do. Okay. I'm hoping to see some good results here sometime soon. Okay. Just taking the test does not guarantee you passing. Not even close. You need to probably get about a 2.5 average on both those tests. Because if that's what you're planning on doing and not doing the solutions or fish kill, That's your best case scenario. I can't even guarantee that that will be a pass. Okay, it's borderline. Okay, so you got to really do well on the other formative stuff too. Okay, you can't just turn in garbage for your learning plans if you're still working on that. Okay, you got to get them done to a high level. Check with me where you have problems and questions. If you haven't even looked at the stoichiometry stuff yet, that's going to be somewhat confusing for most of us. Okay, I'd love to hear your questions. I want to help you through that stuff. Okay, that's stuff I kind of geek out over. So come see me. Get the help. All right. It can only help you here, right? You don't want to sit there and struggle on something for an hour and a half and be frustrated and give up. Where 10 minutes with me on Google Meets can solve the problem. I mean, literally. Okay. So either way, come see me about that. If you get your learning plans in and your review for the final test, you are ready for the tests or test, whatever it may be, you got to contact me. Okay. You got to contact me. Let's make this happen soon. Okay. The sooner the better. Come up with a plan with me if you need to. If you're stuck and you're in a rut, let's go. Come see me. I want to help you, but we got to get that plan going. We got to get the car moving down the road, so to speak. So let's do it. I'm hopeful to hear from a few of you to get taken care of what needs to get taken care of here. All right. That's all I think I got for you. All right. And till next time, we'll see you later. Bye bye.